make a quick video uh, to record how my price prediction strategies working. Couldn't sleep too good anyway. My nose is too stopped up. So anyway, uh, this is my portfolio so far. I don't know how long I'll hold it or be able to hold it, but like I said, I'm gonna have to hit myself in the head with a sledgehammer to put myself in a coma. That may be the only way I can hold it long term. But I've day traded so much, it's really hard for me to sit on my hands and not do nothing. But so Naka did about 34%. This is 7-day percent gain. Veracity's done 34%. GMX 24%. Unibot almost 24%. Magic 21. Maker 20. Runs about 14. Ultra about 15%. Injective 12%. Gala 8%. Caspa and about 5%. Agix, AGIX, I guess it's Singularity Net is the company. It did about 6.5. Same for AVAX, Matic, done about almost 6%. Ethereum's about 5.5. You can see Render 3%, drops off here. Litecoin slightly in this MX. It's not really. I've just got like $30 in it or something. I may just take it off because that doesn't really apply to. I just use it for gas fees. Gas fees on MX, MXC. Well, they give you a little discount on your fees if you hold some of their token. Doge, it's not doing a whole lot. It's only up 1.8. Pyre hasn't done much this week or last week, but BitGet, it's the only one that's down slightly. Take a look at it on this one here. Let's see, we got Ethereum dominance daily signal just went off. Weekly crossing the array. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, it was above it. It's crossing back below it, testing it, retesting it. Yeah, just leave that alone. I don't want to mess it up. Yeah, looks like it definitely have broken out. It's on a weekly chart. Of course, you started a new week at 7 p.m. Central Time. Last night, or tonight, I guess, or I guess it was yesterday evening, Sunday evening. Let's go back to BitGet, I guess. Look at that. It looks like it's broken out of your weekly downtrend. And it's on week 4. Had a pretty decent week 3. It hasn't really taken off all that great. But I know seems like they're not going to allow United States people to trade with them on their exchange as of October 1st, I think. I may have missed my deadline to get my money off of there. I need to try to get that done today if I can. I was going to do that before the 1st of October. I forgot about it. Anyway, set a calendar alert and everything, but Just Smooth forgot to do it. So if we go over here to this is my portfolio, same thing as my game changers, but it's kind of hard to see it on this. Pain in the butt to have to zoom in on it, but you can see on these 9 counts coming down. That's what I scanned for when I bought in. I bought in about a week too early. I think I may have bought in on this 9 around September 11th. I was dreading this week right here because I knew it was historically a bad week for the stock market, but everything just looked really bullish that week, and so it kind of suckered me in a little bit early. I probably should have waited for that week 10 to settle down. Dogecoin, I don't know. I thought I'd had a better setup than that, but that doesn't look that great coming off of that. I don't know if it didn't complete the 9 or what, but that's a weekly. Yeah, it went to a 6. Now it's on a 2 bar up. Ethereum pretty much hit your 9. 10 bar went down about 3% and then rallied about 9.5%. It may retrace a little. I'm guessing it might pull back to this 1674 zone this week. Probably retest that. I think that's a 21-day moving, or week. That'd be a weekly 21-week moving average. Seems like it has some pretty good support for it. Gala pretty much did the same thing. Did a 9, pulled back, rallied on the 11 bar. Now you're looking pretty decent on it. You got your stochastic RSI crossing up. Let's see, GMX looks about the same. It had a really good week. Last week went up almost 26.5%. Injective went up 14.9. But a lot of these I've been in them for 2 weeks. So, you put out, this is my 2-week indicator, measures 14 days, 15.5, CAS, kind of same thing. There's some of these that ruin and render are getting a little long in the tooth on Magic. It's on an 8 bar. Be careful. Might get one more week out of it, and I'd probably take profit because I noticed Marin Altman had a video out on YouTube that we've got a solar eclipse coming up on October 14th. And a lot of times the solar and lunar eclipse days are bad market days for at least the stock market. It was a really bad day. The last time it happened was that when the FTX news came out on November 8th of last year. And that was a lunar eclipse. Of course, that was a major bear market. We may have bottomed on this. I mean, if you look at your weekly, that's daily. Go to weekly, that's a 4 moving average. I believe Larry Williams says put that on a 10. Yeah, he definitely does in his book. He says put that on a 10 week moving average. See, it's still going down on a 10. Now your 4 week is fish hooked and started back up, but which by Tom DeMark's rules, I think a 4 week is enough. I think that gives you enough hedged. I mean, that's a month of action. So, I mean, I'm not going to argue with somebody with 60 years experience, but because obviously he knows a lot more than I do. But I like to use a 4. I've noticed that Larry uses a 4 a lot of times on his Williams Percentar indicator, which I started doing. That's this light blue line right here. That's his indicator, Williams Percentar. I put it on a 4 moving average or length. I think it just gives you a little faster buy and sell signal, is what it does. He uses it on a daily chart quite a bit for futures and commodities, I think, and that's what he does. So let's go to Maker. It's had a really good week. Last week it did 16%. Knock did really good. I think I only have. I didn't get a full position on Knock. I think I may have 1,000 or something in it, but 36% though. That's really good gains for a week. Now Pyre, I don't know. It's still not 100% sold on that Vulcan Forge. Pyre's PYR is the ticker symbol on it, but it's a Gaiman coin. If you're not familiar with it, I don't know. Hustle Gal and Crypto Banner interviewed the CEO or one of the big wigs on his show. If you want to go watch it, I watched most of it, but Render looks really good. That's a good V bottom recovery. Last week it did 9% growth. Render, like I said, it's on a 9-week this week, so I'll probably take profit on it sometime this week. It's on a 7-day, probably within the next 2 or 3 days is when I would take profit on it, because you get a 9 count on a daily and you're on a 9 count on a weekly. Most likely sometime into this week, could be it might rally into a 13 bar up. It's a really strong coin, but it's had a really good year, but so far. That solar eclipse concerns me a little bit. So we may get a couple good weeks of up action. Something's moving the market this morning. I don't know I couldn't find any news on Bitcoin. There's a few articles that have come out on Yahoo and Google. Wish there was a way I could turn those off. Well, there is a way, but let me shut these down. How do I do that? Yeah, let's stop them off for a while so it doesn't be distracting me. Let's go through TRX. It had a really good week, 7.7%. It's on a 6 count, so it's getting stretched a little, getting a little extended, but I mean, a lot of these are just getting started compared to where they were at the high of the bull market, but I don't know. It's hard for me to trust this market with this kind of a economy. I kind of feel like if you can get a 4-week rally out of it, it's not a bad idea to take some profit on it, but just in case. Now, Veracity had an awesome week last week, went up 33%, coming off of this 9 count. I mean, this obviously works. I mean, and it may not work every time. If you're in a really, really bad bear market, I knew it was high risk, being the time of year that it was, September, October, the worst week of the stock market. So I took a little beating. I bought most of these the week of. I want to say I bought Veracity last week. It might have been the week before. It was on a perfect 13 count, I believe, on my, if you go to the actual TD sequential, it had a 913. I'm almost 100% sure, or at least on the daily. Maybe it's on the daily. Yeah, here we go. I mean, it came off of this. Pretty sure I bought either this day or that day. September 25th, I think, is when I bought. Set, stagnant for about 2 days. The third day it finally rallied 4%, and then it started taking off pretty good. If I take that Ichimoku off of it, you can see it better. I just take everything off because all these moving averages and everything. There's Will Trend, Larry Williams Will Trend. He says as long as your price action's above these lines, I changed it when it's yellow. That's when it's bearish. If your price action's below it, as long as you're above it, he says, let it run, let it ride. That's another way I can kind of tell. Now, your weekly price action is still below it, so that concerns me a little bit. I can't see my sequential if I don't turn that back on, but here we go. Yeah, I saw Veracity had a 9 on the weekly, and then I flipped it to the daily, and I saw that 913. I was like, I gotta buy some of that. So I didn't go all in on it, but I think I put 1,000. I put 2,000. I put 1,000 in 2 different accounts to see what test it out, see if it would do something. Sure enough, it did, but I probably should have took some profit on it. It may pull back this week sometime, but that's a big week. It doesn't look like it till you zoom in on it, but that's a big candle. 32% in a week is pretty awesome. There's hedge fund managers that would love to be able to do that with their stock portfolio. I'm sure it takes. If they can average 6% on the S&P 500 in a year, they're extremely happy, and most of their clients are extremely happy. I think that's why a lot of these hedge funds want to get into Bitcoin, because they know it has volatility for the most part. You can get some big gains out of it. They're gonna manipulate it like gold, silver, commodities. They're gonna trade it, but I think there's some money about to really pour into it if they and when they finally approve the ETFs. There's some hedge fund manager leaked out. If you watch Ilio trades, I believe he covered it. He said there was a pretty big hedge fund manager, I think, or finance bank off Wall Street that said he thought the spot ETF would be trading live possibly October, November. So he thinks it might get approved maybe in October, I think is what he said. Anyway, this Unibot did decent last week. It rallied 27%. That could be the V bottom. It looks like that's bottomed out. As long as this doesn't make a lower low, I'd say could be in the clear on Unibot. It's just extremely volatile on this coin here, but it come off of this 9 count. I had to buy it. I bought it couple times, I kept getting stopped out on it, but so I lost some money on it, but I'm back in the black for now. Everything's looking pretty decent on the portfolio now, but you never really know until you get kind of deep in the account, is what I call it. If you can see 4 or 5 day rally come out of it, you can kind of start to sleep a little better at night. I was sweating bullets that week of the 19th, I think it was, and the 20th of September. That was a little shaky week, but let's see. Ultra did 16% last week. It didn't have a 9 count, but you had your 13 over here, so that I want to say it was pretty close to a 9. I can't remember exactly where Ultra was. Let me see. Ultra looked like it went to a 6 and then rallied. Even on Heikinashi. I mean, you had your 9 over here, went sideways, dipped some more. Still too early to really say whether or not, that's 3 weeks of higher lows. You see right here, 1, 2, 3, and this one would be 4 as long as it closes. You could put a trend line at the bottom here and kind of tell it's definitely going up. So, I mean, it's a slow progression up. It had some good news last week. I think they opened. It's a gaming coin. Ultra is the name of it, but you can get it on KuCoin. So I don't know. It had some good news. They had some kind of new game or something that was going live, I think. I haven't tested out much of their games. A lot of them, they want you to buy, an avatar or something to play their game or whatever. I'm not interested in, purchasing a bunch of gaming skins and avatars and weapons and all that stuff. I think there's money in it if you bought land, for advertising or something. But if you knew how to do some of that stuff, but I'm not good enough at computer programming to know how to, build a casino or whatever in a game, or even a billboard probably to advertise. I guess maybe Google or these big companies on Wall Street might pay you to advertise on your building or your land, I guess, but at some point, or who knows what they'll end up doing with these games. But there's already been some pretty good money, I guess, made with some people buying the land, and developing it. I think one guy put a bar or something, some kind of nightclub inside a game, and I can't remember what he made. It was at least 100,000 something. It might could have been $1 million. I don't know, but I think he put it in Sandbox. I believe it was Sandbox, or it could have been that Mana Decentraland, or either Sandbox or Decentraland. But anyway, here's that Veracity, BRA. Like I said, I bought into it. Did pretty good, 33% last week. I'd say that. I think that's my best one. That one in Naka, it done really good last week. It did 36%. I probably should have went all in on it, but you just never know which one's gonna, take off. I mean, it's really been doing good since May, really. I mean, even before then, it bottomed out and took off. And it really started going about December, the day after Christmas, the week of December 26th. It took off, rallied for a 9 count. Pulled back on this 9 bar, but down 8%. Kind of went sideways, a little dip. Held support right down here. I don't know. Now you probably have support around 36. Could pull back to that, off this next rally, or probably test this top of this right here, about 60. If we can hold it. That's my guess on NACA. But Veracity, like I say, it's already had a really good week. If we can get above this 005867, then you could gap up here to this 0085, possibly even this 1 cent range. I mean, it's been as high as way up here around 8.5 cents. Back in the bull run, when was this? This was October 21. Yeah, it topped out. So it topped out way before everything else. Everything else mostly November. November, December. I heard Annie say the other day that LTC usually runs first, starting a bull run. And sure enough, last week it had a 7% week, coming off a 9 count. So that could be a nice indication. It's broken this little short-term downtrend line. That's not a real great trend line. I'd prefer probably do something right here to right there. It definitely broke that last week. I'd probably get rid of that one. That doesn't really. That looks pretty good right there to me. Could come up here and test this zone here around this 80 and a half. I'd like to get that out of it. It may come up here. This is your 200, I think, on this green. Let's see what colors. Yeah, green is a 200, and the light blue is my 21 week. That's a weekly moving average, but simple moving average. And this could be just getting started. I mean, this could go to a 9 count pretty easy. Maybe pull back 4 weeks and could go another, 9 weeks. I mean, for all I know. I believe there's a person with a forecast on this, on Bitcoin. I can't say who it is, but I don't want to get in trouble for trademark violation, but I want to say that forecast was predicting Bitcoin to rally sometime September, October. October had the best odds on it, looked like. And then probably a rally until, I want to say, November. Sometime in November. And then you got a decent little pullback in December, I think, of this year. Might rally somewhere around Christmas. Somewhere in there, too. I can't remember, but, without looking at it. So, we'll keep an eye on that. That's my prediction. I think coming off this 9, you got really good odds of a decent run on nearly everything. If you pull Bitcoin up, let's do Bitcoin. I like Binance. It went to an 8. It's on week 4, going up. It had a good week, 6.5% last week. Not like some of these altcoins, but I don't know. There's something going on with it today. It's definitely having some some pretty good price action. Yesterday it went up almost 4%. If you go to a 4-hour, you had a nice spike right here around 3 to 5 o'clock Central. You go to the 1 hour right here, you can't, I mean, it doesn't look that, you blow it up here. Yeah, that was a 3% move in an hour, 1 hour, right at 5 o'clock Central Time. So I think that's right around the time when the futures open up. Let me use Annie's market session. There we go. Time here. Yeah, looks like your Asia market doesn't open up till 8 o'clock Central Time. I'm pretty sure the futures market opens up in America somewhere around 4 or 5 o'clock Eastern Time, I think. I don't know how you'd verify that. I could go to if you go to the CME BTC 1 is the, yeah. Let's see, that shows U.S. market right there. Let's see, yeah, about 5 o'clock. It was a pretty good rally on the futures also. That was my guess. I mean, I didn't see any news that come out. I mean, there were some articles. Test Bitcoin news. Let's see. This October, 7 hours ago. Cointelegraph, Yahoo put out a spot ETF moving the needle. Bitcoin advances 6-week high as new quarter sees inflow. I didn't see a whole lot of inflow on the. You go to the COT report on the CMEgroup.com, but let's see, go to crypto, go to Bitcoin, go to dealers. They've reduced their shorts, and it looks like they increased the net position slightly. It wasn't a big. And they decreased 30% on their longs, so that's actually a negative. But they also decreased their shorts by almost 12%. So that could be the public's doing the same thing. They're down 33% on their longs. So they're not trusting the rally. The leverage money they were heavy short. So that could be what the dealers are doing. The brokers are probably just liquidating this heavy leverage on the shorts, most likely. Seems like they do it both ways. You know, they'll start it one way and then flip it the other way to get both sides of the leverage shaken out. You know, liquidate everybody, and then kind of resets everything. And usually it goes back to its normal cycle that it was on, or at least probably continued the trend that it started. Hopefully, that's what happens. But so I just want to make a quick video on it, just for my own progress, I guess you could call it. You know, I wanted to test that weekly strategy. Looked like back testing it worked on 90% of everything I had looked at. I found a couple instances where it didn't work, but you know, if you go on a weekly chart, you need something with. I mean, some of these. Gala was a really good instance. You can't see this. without zooming in on it, but there was one of them. Yeah, way over here. Went up 104% coming off this 913. This was January. Man, I wish I would have been. I wish I'd have been watching for this or scanning for it. Back that would have been awesome to get a piece of that. And you got another one for 42% the next week. It probably went up another. I don't know. This one went up 21%. This week was kind of flat, but 21%. So I mean, man, that was some really good price action coming out of that. And it sold off pretty hard after you got that. So I don't know. It's hard for me to trust this rally. I'm hoping we get 1 to 4 weeks out of it. I wish this Vulcan Forge would take off. I'm not feeling real confident about it yet. I don't know. It needs a news event or something to come out. I was hoping Hustle's interview might have helped it, but I guess it didn't do bad. It did 3.5% last week. That's decent. But it had a really bad week before that. Had set down 7%, and this one was down 9.3%. So I definitely took a bath on one of these weeks. I think it was this one that I got in. Could have been that one. At one point, it went down. There's one of these went down like 30% in a day. That could have been that Unibot. I think it was Unibot. Went down like 30% in one day. I wasn't heavily invested in it, but it was enough to knock my portfolio back pretty good. At one point, it was down, I think, at least 2,000. So I've got all that back plus a little more. So I'm back in the black. So hopefully everything's looking good. So I don't want to keep rambling on here, but just wanted to update this and keep progress on it. So we'll catch y'all later.